Everyone, it's a pleasure to join you again here at DatelineDrought.com. It's sponsored by Genuity Drought Guard Hybrids. As we visit this Thursday evening, we ponder whether some of you have been haying the highways, whether you've been out there cutting some of that grass and perhaps trying to bale it so that you have at least some additional forage that might be available when the snow and the cold hits in the wintertime and you need something to feed those cattle. Now, to be sure, there's always some mowing allowed along state highways. In most states, anyway, you can keep it mowed off around your mailbox. You can mow around drainage inlets and outlets of your farm fields. Seed demonstration plots, ag demonstration plots, they generally allow for some mowing between the highway and those plots as well. And I might add, many of you folks do a wonderful job of manicuring that roadside around your farmstead. You're proud of your place, and you take advantage of the roadside, too. But also I note that many highway departments have been allowing for the haying of that roadside around your farm, especially with the issuance of a permit. Now, it is done with restrictions, we understand, in many instances. If you're mowing that area between the ditch bottom and the highway itself, they often want to have some kind of highway safety control as you are mowing. They may require you to wear a reflective vest. They may have limited hours when you can mow each day, between sunrise and sunset, for example, and certainly there are limitations of the days that you can mow. In fact, I noticed the Iowa Department of Transportation has its deadline coming up in the next week. September 1st, I believe, is the last date at which farmers can hay those roadsides. That then begs the question, how good is that stuff? I can't help but think of all of the junk that gets thrown out there. You know, that's one thing that hasn't changed in the 50 years since I was a kid. On the farm in Indiana back in the day, yeah, they were throwing out beer cans, beer bottles, a lot of cigarette butts and cigarette wrappers, packages, cigarette boxes back in the day. Not so many of those now. There may be more onerous stuff thrown out there, though, as some of the waste from methamphetamine labs we know is wound up along the roadside in some instances. And I believe the state highway departments of transportation say they don't guarantee by any means the quality of what you're able to bring in from out along the roadside. We can't help but think there must be a lot of junk in there as your baler would go along. But have some of you done that? I'd be interested in knowing if you've been haying the highways near your place and what kind of success you've had with it, what you feel about the quality of what you're bringing in, and what kind of a gap it might fill for you. If you'd like to offer some comment on that, I would appreciate it. You can email me at maxarm@comcast.net, MAXARM @comcast.net. We appreciate your joining us here at DatelineDrought.com, brought to you by Genuity Drought Guard Hybrids. Now let's check on what's happening in the world of the markets. Here's Bryce Knorr.
On Wednesday, futures were able to bounce back from a bout of selling to finish with only minor losses. Markets across the board were less fortunate today, however. Profit-taking derailed recent rallies from corn to crude oil, from soybeans to stocks, from wheat to, well, whatever. The only commodity that enjoyed some respect was gold, which extended its recent winning streak on hopes governments around the world will soon be printing more money. But even that prospect lost some of its luster for the rest of the market. Not even a weaker dollar could stem the tide of selling. Corn led the market lower. Export sales reported again this week were disappointing at just 12.8 million bushels. Old crop shipments are 82 million bushels behind USDA's forecast for the 2011 crop, with only 2 weeks left in the marketing year. Still, China continues to take some corn, even as a typhoon bears down on the northeastern part of its corn and soybean belt. December corn broke below its uptrending channel for the past week, finishing off 20 cents at $8.14 3/4. Wheat also ran into trouble. Despite more reports of lower Russian production, export sales in the latest week remained good, but not good enough, at 17.4 million bushels. With prices high, buyers are taking only small amounts, hoping to nickel and dime their way through the crisis. Forecasts for rain in the hard red winter wheat belt also restrained bulls ahead of seeding of the 2013 crop. September Chicago wheat closed down 22 at 874.5. Kansas City was off 23 to 882.25, and Minneapolis ended 21.25 lower at $9.20.5. Soybeans fared a little better than the rest, at least on the November contract. Positive export news helped support the market early, but losses on Wall Street kept any real buying interest in check. Big sales to China, which were rumored earlier in the week, were confirmed by USDA, which announced the sale of 6.1 million bushels of new crop beans and 55 million metric tons of soybean oil to China, and another 7.4 million bushels were also sold to unknown destination, which may eventually be revealed as China as well. The weekly total as of last week came in at 21.1 million bushels, lifting total sales of 2012 soybeans to 618 million bushels, 56% of USDA's forecast for the marketing year, which doesn't even begin until September 1st. Despite that news, November soybeans lost 12 3/4 to close the session at 17.15. Keep up with the drought situation across the country by visiting www.datelinedrought.com.